Welcome to the Joint Committee of the House Committee on Water and Land and Committee on Labor and Tourism. I'm here with Chair Onishi, members of the Water and Land Committee, and members of the Labor and Tourism Committee. We're meeting today, Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022 at 11 a.m. in conference room 309 and also via video conference for the purpose of hearing one very important measure, Senate Bill 3330, SD1. We're going to just move ahead into our testimony. Members, we've got written testimony, the comments from the Department of Budget and Finance, and we have testimony via Zoom from DLNR, Mr. Brian Nielsen. Please proceed.
Aloha, Chair Tarnas, Vice Chair Bronco, members of the committee, Brian Nielsen, Administrator, Division of Aquatic Resources. We stand on our written testimony in support of this measure and happy to address any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have written testimony and support from numerous individuals and organizations. Kevin Chang, Richard Pizzulo, Camille Cleveland, Lauren Blickley, Max Phillips, Kavika Winter. We also have testimony via Zoom from Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition, Ted Bolin. Mr. Bolin, if you're available, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair and Vice Chair and members of the committees. Ted Bolin for Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition. Sharks Cove, Pupukea Marine Life Conservation District is one of the rare places in Hawaii that has really valuable coral. We have coral all around the islands, but this is a particular vulnerable and beautiful ecosystem that needs protection. It's being loved to death, basically, and we need to have some controls on this. The first step in that, this bill would provide, is a carrying study to see how much it can handle and to investigate ways to control the impact on the ecosystem. So I strongly urge, Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition strongly urges the committees to adopt this measure and to move forward. Thank you, Chair Tarnas, and I appreciate, I see also, excuse me, Chair Onishi as well, Vice Chairs, appreciate the opportunity to testify, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bolin. Members, we have received many testimonies in support. Hawaii Thousand Friends, Lisa Bishop with Friends of Hanauma Bay, Robert Walker, Shoreline Conservation Initiative, Angela Huntmer, Cynthia Punihaule Kennedy, Kohler Bondera, Robert Thomas, Eleanor Thomas, Bob Lenau, Jenny Yagodich. And we have a testimony via Zoom from Denise Antolini, Malama Pupukea Waimea. Professor Antolini, please proceed.
Thank you. Aloha, Chair Tarnas, Vice Chair Bronco, Chair Onishi, Vice Chair Sayama, and members of the committee. First of all, our great appreciation for your precious time in holding this joint hearing. We really appreciate it. A few points. So in addition to my role as a law professor and my community role, I have been the volunteer president of Malama Pupukea Waimea since we formed the organization in 2005. The goal of our organization is to protect this place, the beautiful place that you see behind me. The Marine Life Conservation District at Pupukea is one of only 3 on Oahu, and there are only 11 statewide. Our MLCD was expanded in 2002 and 2003 to be 100 acres, which is terrific because now it matches the size of Hanauma Bay, which biologically is the size that you need to get replenishment and spillover. So it's a spectacular area. It's being loved to death, and all of us have been tracking and are very aware of the increasing number of both visitors and locals who are enjoying the beaches. And we want that. We want people to enjoy the resource. The issue is, at what point does the resource get degraded because there are too many people in sensitive areas? The purpose of this bill is to provide for a pilot program for 3 years that would study the impact of essentially too many people in a small, fragile area. We're not talking about limiting use in the entire MLCD. For example, Waimea Bay, I'm sure you've been up there. It can take a lot of people. It has a sandy bottom, and there's a lot of activity there that can take place without risking harm to the marine resources. The tide pool right behind me, Kapo'o Tide Pool, is highly sensitive to trampling. It's shallow water, and it has over 50 species of marine life that call this place home. So if we're trampling the nursery, we're not going to get the abundance in the MLCD and in the adjacent areas that we all support. So I'll stop there. I know time is limited, but I'm very appreciative of the broad support for this bill, including by DLNR. And it falls right in line with the state's initiative, 30 by 30 initiative, to protect our nearshore areas that are special with effective management. Mahalo nui, and I'm available for questions at any point.
Mahalo, Professor. We've received written testimony and support from Steve Schroeder, and we have testimony via Zoom in support from Maki Mornoi. Please proceed.
Am I going? Maki
Yes.
Mornoi? All right. Thank you for this opportunity to testify. My name is Maki Mornoi, a fourth generation Kama'aina who has spent majority of my leisurely childhood pastime at Kahalu, Anaiho'omalu, Kua, Kiholo, Kealakekua, Manini, Hapuna, Ho'okena bays and beaches, to name a few. Because of our over-tourism, not only do we feel cultural displacement happening, but overcapacity impact for decades. It is sad to see the human impact along our shore and development permits being granted without cultural, environmental, historical, and catastrophic preparedness impacts as a collaborative process. Pupukea MLCD is a popular place for visitors and as a result is overcrowded. I support SB 3330 SD1 for the rights for nature to have the space to balance, to heal, to rest, to thrive. As an observer of our land, I know very well the human impact it has caused along our bays and shorelines. We are now finally bringing forward scientific evidence and data to support our long-standing knowledge from our Kanaka kupunas through the University of Manoa and Hawaii Marine Educational Research Center in Miloli'i. We do not have more time to wait for action. Our coral is in need of your support before our food chain collapses to a degree we might not get it back. With urgency and deep evidential understanding, please support this bill. Thank you for your time. Aloha.
Mahalo. Members, we have written testimony and support from numerous individuals: Shannon Matson, Diane Ware, Damian Kennison, Ellie Jones, Samantha Mislinski, Sydney Covell, Konstantinos Stimulus, Larry McElhaney, Andrea Woods, and Linnell Damate. Is there anyone else on Zoom or in the room that would like to testify on Senate Bill 3330? Seeing none. Members, questions from Waterland first? Next. Chair, turn it over to you if you members have any questions.
Yeah, Labor Tourism Committee, members, any questions? Okay, if not, I have one for DLNR. I wanted to ask, do you have a breakdown of the requested $100,000 a year?
Thanks for the question. We don't have a breakdown. The way that we came up with that estimate is we reached out to Dr. Ku'ulei Rogers from the Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology, who conducts the carrying capacity studies at Hanauma Bay and has done so for several years now. And that was the estimate that she gave us, that she thought it would cost to contract out a carrying capacity study. So we don't have a detailed breakdown, but we could probably come up with something like that if it was requested.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we do request it. If you would be able to provide that, Mr. Nielsen, that'd be great. Other questions, members of Labor and Tourism or Waterland? Okay, we will roll right into decision making then. My recommendation is to pass this out as is. It already has a defective date. We have an idea of what the costs are. We'll include that in the Senate in the standing committee report. My recommendation, SB 3330, SD1 as is. Members, any questions or comments? Nothing from Waterland, so we'll go ahead and do our vote first. Please go ahead, Vice Chair, for the vote.
The recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 3330 SD1 as is. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Ganadin?
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi?
Aye.
Representative Kong.
Aye.
Representative Morikawa.
Aye.
Representative Ono.
Aye.
Representative McDermott is excused. The measure passes.
Thank you. Over to you, Chair Onishi.
Thank you. For Labor and Tourism, same recommendation, pass as is. Members, any questions? Yes, go ahead.
Just a brief comment, Chair.
Representative Quinn.
I just really wanted to thank the Chair of Water and Land for advancing this measure that is so important, not just to my community, but I think also the future of biodiversity in the state. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any further questions or comments? Okay, if not, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on SB 3330 SD1, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Bellotti excused. Representative Holt.
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi.
Aye.
Representative Quinlan.
Aye.
Representative Takayama.
Aye.
Representative Okimoto excused. Thank you, Chair. Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, members. There will be no further business before us today. This joint committee hearing is adjourned.